Ah, finally! After so many months of waiting, Natlan is finally here! Let's see.
What our eyes see ought to be our fate. But now, close your eyes and feel. For with our blood.
Wait a second. Hold on. Where did the melanin go? Processing optimization. Hi everyone! Aroki Ray signing on. Once again, welcome back to another new video. If you're new here, then hi, hello, I'm Yuri. As to why I'm using this crudely drawn chibi girl? After 4 years, the nation of Natlan is finally here! The land of the dragons and war, the fiery land of Pyro, the nation inspired by the traditions of the Aztecs, Native Americans, Hawaiians, and more. Anyway, let's scroll our way into the toxic world of Twitter, shall we? After seeing the teaser about the land of Pyro for the first time, my first thought was, oh, there are a lot of hot female characters here. There's a cute Rochelle too. They already got tons of people thirsting for them. And Capitano? That one line alone made fans lose their marbles. At the same time, the English voice actors of Genshin Impact themselves were furiously typing away their complaints about the newest Natlan characters, about how their skin colors aren't accurate to their nation's inspirations, about how other games did a better representation to each of their characters, about how the bigwigs of Miyo are purposefully whitewashing almost every single playable character that they release, about how Genshin Impact is actively ruining the world history with and okay, this is interesting. For now, the only Genshin Impact characters that have melanin are Kea, Xinyan, Dia, Sino, Candace, Setos, and these NPCs from the desert areas of Sumeru. So, why the outrage? Let's have a quick history lesson, shall we? Considering the vast number of playable characters that's already introduced within the game, let's put our focus on the characters found within Sumeru and Natlan that were influenced by real-life people and other mythological figures from real history. You guys know who Dia is, right? Dia, the Flaming, Dunyazad's bodyguard and bestie since childhood. Dia, the "you can just pay me with a smile" waifu.
How much more do you want? I'm not sure we can afford it.
How much do I want? Hey, how about paying me with a smile? What do you say?
Okay, type Dia in the search bar and do a quick Google search. Yep, Genshin Impact's Dia, as expected. But Do you know that Dia's name and backstory were taken from the story of Queen Al-Kahina? Queen Al-Kahina was a leader of the tribe of Alrez. It was said that her birth name was Dia, which was later on changed to Al-Kahina, or the sorceress, or the prophetess, or the seer, or the witch, after she rose to power. How did she rise to power? Well, it all happened after the passing of Kosaila and the collapse of the power of the Byzantines. She then became not only the leader, but also the guiding spirit of Berber, under the command of Hassan ibn Numan. One of my Genshin Impact husbandos, the introverted scribe himself. Well, I did a quick Google search and found out that his name literally translates to the eagle. Now, do a quick Google search about him. Do it. Again and again and again. Always Alhazen from Genshin Impact, right? Always the handsome scribe of Sumeru. Now, add a few changes to the search bar. Instead of typing in Alhazen, type this instead. Ta-da! A whole new world! The historical figure who influenced Al-Haytham's interesting character himself, Hassan ibn al-Haytham. Unlike the fictional Al-Haytham who worked as a scribe for the academia, Hassan ibn al-Haytham was known to work as a mathematician, an astronomer, and a physicist during the Islamic Golden Age of Iraq. It's also said that he's the very first person to correctly explain the theory of one's vision. His arguments about it were later on used as Fermat's principle. Our beloved blonde architect. One who is always locked out of his and Al-Haytham's shared house and the quarterly wish banners. The poor guy who barely earns anything because of extreme kindness. Well, let me cut to the chase. Instead of typing in the usual, type this instead. Ding ding ding! A whole new person, dog from the ancient legends of Iran. Unlike our beloved Sumeru architect Kaveh, the historical Kaveh was believed to work as a blacksmith who led a coup d'etat against Zahak, the foreign tyrant, after witnessing the passing of his two beloved sons due to the serpents of Zahak. Thanks to Kaveh's bravery and heroism, the foreigners were eventually expelled from the country, and the Iranian rule was re-established within the system. Okay, this guy is a little tricky. It's quite obvious that Sinus' design was taken from Anubis, right? The Egyptian god of the dead with a jackal head? Sadie Kane's man? Before everything else, let's first focus ourselves to his title, the General Mahamatra. In this case, Mahamatra literally means an officer of high rank, which was first established by the Indian Emperor Ashoka. Also, the Mahamatra's full title was Dhamma Mahamata, Inspectors of the Dharma. And I don't want to laugh, but I just realized that Sino's name literally means dog. Nilu, the beloved hydrodancer of the Grand Bazaar. A good friend to everyone, and the girl who always gets a bunch of freebies from the bazaar store owners because of her friendliness. During the climax of Sumeru's Archon quest, the dancer helped us with the mission of saving Nahida through the use of her dancing. And in her story quest, she partook within an academic argument against a scholar to save her group. Well, do you know that her character was kind of influenced by the Ottoman princess Nilüfer Hanim Sultan? I know that the Ottoman princess isn't a dancer like Nilu, but they have one strong similarity: their active fight for rights. Nilu, as we all know, belonged to a troupe in the Grand Bazaar that specializes in the arts that they all love, and because of their non-academic interests, the academia always refused to acknowledge their rights and always forced them to shut down and disband. Princess Nilüfer, nicknamed as the Kohinoor of Hyderabad, on the other hand, used her title as a princess to fight for both the healthcare and rights of the women of India. Are you now seeing the connection? Nilu fought for the rights of her troop, while Princess Nilufer fought for the rights of the ladies of her nation. To summarize it all, they're both sweet ladies who only wished for the betterment of everyone that they cared for. Let's face it, we all want a Candace in our friend group. A good-natured person who's fond and loving towards us, only to turn into a frightening beast towards the person who hurt us. As I did my research, I saw this. Candake, the Queen Mother of Kush. I know that Candace isn't married and doesn't have children, but I'm sure that all of us players could notice it. About how motherly she is towards the Traveler, Paimon, the kids of our village, and everyone else who's on her good side. It's also said that a Candake owns her very own court, acts as a landholder, and is a regent. Just like what Candace is with our village, considering her relationship with the villagers. Our newest electro-bow-wielding boy, Setas, the only heir to the Temple of Silence and the third male electro character, and the only one holding the second bar fragment before returning it to Sino after losing the duel. If we are to look at it closely, we could easily see that Setas' character is based off of Set, the Egyptian god of disorder, storms, deserts, violence, and foreigners. And if we are to dig deeper into Setas' and Sino's past rivalry concerning the Ba fragments, we'll eventually come to the realization that something similar happened to their real-world counterparts, Anubis and Set. If you're a mythology freak like me, then you'll know that Set and Anubis' relationship is that of a father and son. Set went off to marry his sister Nephthys and fathered both Anubis and Wepawat. However, in some stories, there was an unexpected feud between the father and son after Set realized that Anubis took the side of his uncle Osiris. As expected, the two fought. Anubis won, of course, and as punishment, he unfortunately had to brand his father's skin with a hot iron rod. In Genshin Impact, this punishment is equivalent to Sino taking the Ba fragment away from Setas as a form of payment after winning the duel. That's a lot. As for the others, they don't really have any real-life counterparts, so just read them at your own leisure, okay? Okay, I'm finally done with the Sumeru characters. Now I'm gonna focus on one of the Natlan characters that made the Twitter people go nuts. The fact that Oloron's name is taken for the African's highest god himself? Yikes. Look, I know that it's just a game, but I understand why the people are instantly having the ick. The other gaming companies, such as Smite and Capcom, are doing a wonderful job with their race presentation. Genshin Impact, according to the people from the posts that I showed you earlier, is violently whitewashing the characters who are supposed to represent their traditions. They even made a petition to make the Natlan characters darker, with some of the comments saying that they don't care if the repair takes another month or another year, just make their skin color right. Okay, yikes, they're all fired up. But to be honest, I don't think that Genshin Impact's gonna listen to them at all. I know that they're right about the players not knowing what individual a certain character's design is taken from, but in my opinion, the truth will always emerge once the players themselves decide to do their research. I mean, Google is free, right? So, another Genshin Impact scandal in the works, huh? Oh, before I forget, that one character from Fontaine, the great and handsome Duke himself, Duke Risley of the Fortress of Nerapede. I'm sorry to break it to ya, but Risley's name is based on Thomas Risley, the first Earl of Southampton, England, and was one of King Henry VIII's most loyal subordinates. Yes, you heard that right. The real-life Risley worked for this buffoon! Ladies and gents, if you're planning to go on a museum trip to England with your friends and family, don't you dare yap about how much you adore Risley, since another Risley will immediately enter the minds of some people and will be horrified by you. Anyways, that's all for today. I hope you like this history class of ours. Don't forget to eat and drink properly. Oh, and don't forget to stay tuned in for the next video by hitting that pretty subscribe button and the cute little bell. Goodbye, and subscribe! Optimization complete.